Greetings, enemies. I had a dream last night. It's about 5 p.m. and I just woke up. This is typical for me. Um, but I had a dream last night where I went and I time traveled back to the 70s, which was pretty sweet. Um, yeah. Is this shirt from the 70s? Yeah. Uh, I mean, it's not physically. This physical T-shirt isn't from the 70s. It's like a remake of some like shirt from a Rolling Stones tour. Uh, the Rolling Stones U.S. tour 78. So, yeah, 1970s. Nice. I'm wearing the same shorts from yesterday because fuck it, I just made them, so they're kind of new and all that. I mean, I'd made them before, but I made alterations to them this this time around. But anyway, that was like yesterday that I did that. But so I had a dream that I went back to the 70s, but it wasn't the real 70s like it is now. Or I mean, like it is now. What am I saying? But it's not the real 70s like from this world. It's like some otherworldly 1970s that doesn't exist in our dimension. But in the dream it seemed normal. In the dream it seemed normal. It was like, yeah, I guess the 1970s were just kind of like this. Like, yeah, there's like magical, well, not magical, but like super high tech, like video game arcade type places and stuff. I swear to God, it kind of reminded me of some of the weird technology in A Clockwork Orange. Um, it had a retro futuristic kind of feel to it. Um, like retrofuturism, it's when I know it sounds contradictory, but that's kind of the thing. It's like it means the past's idea of what the future would be like how people from the past envisioned the future. That's what retrofuturism is about. So, um, in the dream. That's what the 70s was actually like. It was like there. I remember visiting a shopping mall, and there were a bunch of buildings that were very, very tall, and it was like a shopping mall made out of almost like skyscrapers. The buildings were so grand and huge, and there was like a bunch of they all had very interesting architecture as well. I always say architecture instead of architecture. That's one word that I usually don't pronounce correctly, and that's funny. But anyway, yeah, they had like a very grand design with like intricate. It's hard to describe, but it's like they had like an alien, otherworldly kind of architecture going on, and it was just so involved. It made it seem like the 1970s were a very prosperous time with like. I mean, relative to now, it can sometimes seem that way, but I think there was actually like a recession in the economy at the time. So I'm not sure. I know there was like a gas crisis during the 70s, so I know that was going on during at least some parts of it. But yeah, but there was like um in the dream there was it seemed like incredibly prosperous and magical, and some of the buildings seem to be like movie theaters, and some of them seem to be like arcades. They all see basically what it my impression of it was like they had great entertainment back then, which they did they did. But it's like this was different. This was like they had entertainment technology back then that was like almost lost to time. It was kind of like finding the city of Atlantis, or something like that. And also, I should mention, everything was in a kind of filter. It looked like I was watching the world through a camera lens that they would have used back then, It was weird, it was silly. To anybody who was alive during the 1970s, sound off in the comments. Was it like this? Was everything in a retro style future re- in a retro style camera filter with like a retro futuristic aesthetic to all of the buildings, and was there like a very high tech kind of approach to the um the entertainment? Like, could you guys go into like cyberspace with arcades and stuff. Because the thing is, no, no, I know that you didn't, because arcades didn't exist back then. Arcades are more of an '80s thing, a '90s thing. I'm pretty sure. Um, arcades were in the '80s, right? Yeah, yeah. Arcades were in the '80s. There were '80s arcades. Yeah, yeah, but not in the '70s so much. No, that no. So, that's my dream about the 1970s. It wasn't very involved. I feel like there was more to it than that, but I just don't really remember any other details. I just remember the strange buildings with their strange purposes. Um, and I remember the tone of it was very, very beautiful. It was a beautiful dream. I remember feeling very impressed and happy and like, wow, magical, incredible, like going to another land, except there wasn't true magic. It was just like a lot of spectacle and grandiose kind of feelings, feelings of awe and inspiration and yeah, it was incredible. It's hard to not use words like magical or miraculous, you know. So anyway, goodbye.